Welcome to another edition of the Loudermilk Homestead Family How-To videos. Today we're going to talk about your routine maintenance for this tractor, and in probably another video we're going to talk about the mid-mount mower, which we're going to mount on to the tractor hopefully today, or at least this weekend. So with that said, we'll start with the supplies that we're going to need. This is not a comprehensive list, but I get my stuff from Messix Equipment. There's their contact info. They're out of Pennsylvania, and they've got excellent service and all that online stuff. I may have to pause this there a second. Hey, Jane's coming with a basket of eggs. But anyway, today is the 200-hour service. So we're going to replace the engine oil and the transmission filter. And then, of course, we'll clean out the radiator screens. And we greased it recently, so I'm not going to grease it today. But there are a few little things on the quick attach bucket and stuff that I'm gonna hit with a grease gun as well. Sorry about that. Where was I? So I did buy the stuff for the 400-hour service. So it's got differential fluid, and I've got the hydraulic filter, got a fuel filter here, that stuff, and I've got hydraulic oil. Since we're not doing a full hydraulic change today, it's not going to be that big of a deal. We'll just save that stuff for the next time, and the next service is at 400 hours, so there's a good chance it'll be 2 years from now before we service this tractor again, other than the greasing and cleaning out the screen in front of the radiator and stuff. So the first thing, to raise the hood, we're going to turn a little emblem here. You want to bear with me. Turn emblem and pick up. And we got our holder right here, and we got a little slot for it to go in right there. Now you're gonna have to excuse the wind. Hey, get out of there. You cannot have eggs today. No eggs. Anyway, I don't know if this video is going to work out today. There's too much going on. Okay, so the ground is a little wet. I've got two of these pads here. They're meant for you to be able to get down on your knees without hurting your knees, and they work great for that. But I also usually use them for this kind of stuff. And then over here, I've got our oil pans, a couple of oil wrenches, and a long funnel, very important. Now, one thing, I'm going to walk over here out of the wind. It's very important. There's so much things to keep track of here on the farm. I keep these little notebooks. I think they're Moleskin is the brand. And I'll give you, hey, get away. So I keep like my truck's maintenance log, or the tractor's maintenance log, and I put how many hours, what kind of oils and filters and stuff I need. I also have, while we're on the subject, that's farm. I've got a farm events log, so I talk about what dates that I treat for ticks. Last year, we can see on the 30th of March, I applied the tick treatment. I aerated it as well. So it just helps me keep track of what happened, what works, what doesn't work, and all that good stuff. But I keep one for my truck and one for my tractor. It's very straightforward. What kind of oil? A lot of times I started doing this recently, the size drain plug. That way I know what size wrench I need before I even crawl into the tractor, or the truck in that case. Now I didn't do that on the tractor. I'll do it this time, and because of that I'm going to crawl under there with probably 3 or 4 wrenches, and maybe I get it right, maybe I don't. You know, I might have to get out from under the tractor and come hunt more wrenches. Actually, look, 17mm socket for oil plugs. So I did do it. Thank goodness. It's going to save me a little time. I can just go looking for a 17mm socket and we'll be all good. Okay, without further ado, I'm going to cut this and we'll pick it back up. We'll pick it back up under the tractor. Welcome back. So I'm here with my 17mm socket wrench, you know, my old wrenches and a drain bucket. Let's get up under here and we'll drain the old oil off. I'm just gonna slide that under there. And the cool thing about a tractor, and the drain plugs are in the back of the oil pan, which means that we can raise the front up and make it a little easier for a plus size gentleman such as myself to gain access. So what we're gonna do, just gonna crank this up and lift it up, pull it out, you see. And what I'll usually do, because I got 8 of her in here, is I'll lock it, and that makes it so nobody can drop this thing on me. Always a good thing. And then we'll get up under here, hopefully. So we honestly don't want to drain oil on our wrenches. All to go right there. So I get to crawl under this beast. Now, I'm trying to angle this so you can see. So right there, 1, 2, these are the oil plugs that we're gonna be undoing. Set the camera here. Yeah. Yep, 17mm. It's tight. Loose. And what I do is I just crack it. Just crack it loose, and then this is where it gets messy, because I'm gonna get covered in oil. It never fails. And then what I like to do is you just gotta embrace it. And the oil's usually gonna start coming thick. 1, 2. And if you grab your bolts quick, you can get them out of the way. So we're gonna let that drain. And move this so it doesn't blow all over me. Now, what I'm gonna do is open the plug, or the fill cap up here, and it should allow that oil to drain out a little quicker. Should be an operable time. And it did. I'm just gonna let it drain. Set the oil cap here so don't lose it. And so you can see where the oil cap comes from. It's right here. So it's about 4.2 quarts. It's gonna drain in there. And what I like to do is I get it pretty much completely drained, and then I'll remove the filter and change the filter. And then once that's done, we can plug them back up and fill it with oil. 4.2 quarts and start it. So I'm gonna stop for now, and once this is all drained, we'll pick it back up from there. Okay, so you can see, you know, we've pretty much stopped draining, and now I'm gonna loosen this, and there'll be some oil come out of this, and there's also sometimes oil in this. So you want to be kind of careful. We'll move our stuff around a little bit, try to catch it, and let's see. Put the tripod up here. Hopefully you can see. I'd love to find a place for this dang on thing. Maybe right there. We'll see if that works. It may not. And I think this one. Yeah, this ain't gonna work, I don't think. So you just break it loose, and then you can undo it with your hand. And there's gonna be some oil, and there's this cap. This hose is kind of in the way here. And this is gonna be knowledgeable. If you hold that hose up, undo it with your hand. See, I'm draining right into my bucket. We've drained most oil out of the system, so it shouldn't be too bad. Any minute now. There we go. There's our filter. And what I'll do is I'll just drop that down here in this bucket because it's got oil in it. And we'll move this around a little bit. And right there is where the new oil filter is going to go. And of course it's draining all over everything. I'll take a napkin and kind of wipe that, but it doesn't hurt anything. So let's go grab the new filter, and I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. So I got my oil filter. You'll notice it is a Kubota brand oil filter. Believe it or not, and I'm normally not like this, but with my tractor, I always use Kubota brand stuff. And the reason is Kubota's kind of designed their equipment around their fluids, and that's right, I said fluids, their fluids and their filters. So instead of risking it with something else, I just deal with it, and I get the brand name stuff here. You don't have to do this maintenance much, so why not? So now I'm gonna replace this. Now there, you'll see that black seal there. Now the manual will say take some fresh oil and put around that seal to kind of lube it up. But that's not how. Whoa, what was that? I don't even know what it was. But that ain't how I learned to do it. So that's not what we're gonna do. Okay, so I'm gonna screw this bad boy back on. It'll be just as hard to and you want to make sure not to cross thread it, so it doesn't just go on good. And we're just going to get it hand tight, and once it's hand tight, we're going to use the oil filter wrench to tighten it like another quarter to a half turn. And it doesn't have to be super duper tight. So what we'll do is take a wrench, and it's on backwards. It is not the easiest thing to get to in the world. Actually, I was right the first time. Didn't he just go? I was right. Okay, that's plenty tight enough. So now we're gonna go grab our two oil pan bolts, and we're gonna slide them back in, and we should be good to go. And I messed up just now. And here they are. And we'll just get these guys on. I messed up right there, but that's okay. Okay, so come on. It's hard to do this with a camera. I really need 2 hands. There we go. 1. And I'll take it as much as I can with my hands. So the cool thing now is we'll be able to fill this thing up with brand new oil, and that'll be it for the oil change. Now we're gonna move air bucket here. Let's give me a little more room. Okay, and now we're just gonna, it ain't gonna be super tight. Oh, I know what's been doing it now. That door come loose. You don't want to strip those threads, and we're done. That's it. Grab our oil. So what we're going to do now, we'll lower the bucket so everything's nice and level, and fill it up with oil. I'm going to come back to you though, clean up a little bit here. GoPro's getting kind of oily. Okay, so I need to get those tools out real quick. Don't want to set the thing down. Now I used to pull this thing up on ramps and stuff, but over time you learn more efficient ways of doing things. So we're gonna lower the bucket, well, I guess raise the bucket, but lower the tractor, and then we'll throw some oil in her. Now, it being hydraulic, you don't have to power the tractor on to lower the bucket. We can let gravity do the job. So I unlocked it there, and what we'll do is just raise. It'll gently let us down, and now we're back on the ground. Now there's our oil cap. The oil we're using today, Kubota brand 15W40. That is what Kubota recommends for this tractor. We've got our long filler, and we know it takes 4.2 quarts, so you don't have to watch it too close when you know how much it takes. What we can do is dump 4 quarts in there just as quick as it'll take it, and then that's it. So I'll start dumping the first one, and then we'll come back later. So I just stuck it in there. It holds itself. Grab us a quart here. Hopefully it ain't got a seal. It doesn't. And what we'll do is just start draining it in. So listen, I'm gonna cut out for right now, and we'll pick it back up when we're ready to crank her up. Peace out. If I can get to this button. Okay, so we're back. So we finished filling 4.2 quarts, and what we're gonna do now is we'll pull our funnel out, put our cap on, and we should be able to start this bad boy. I'll lay this down over here, kind of prop it up so it drains on that napkin. There's the oil cap. And you don't want to overfill these. I'm no diesel engine guru. I know a lot more about gas, but overfilling engine oil is never good. So last time I did this, I wish Angel would hush for a second. Hold on. I don't know where to put her. Okay. I'm sure it's around here somewhere. Anyway, last time I did this, the oil light come on for a second. And we'll start her up. Everything's sealed, we know that. Starts right up. No smoke. It starts smoking, that's a sign that you've overfilled it. But it looks good. No lights on the dash. I'd say we're good. So I'm going to take a little break, and then we'll come back out. We'll replace the transmission filter. It's over on that other side there. And top off the hydraulic fluid, and then clean up a few things, and we're done. Peace out. Okay, so now we're done with the oil, and you'll notice I backed it up on some ramps just to make it a little easier for me to get to the HST. That's the hydrostatic transmission filter. Now we're doing this with the oil in, which can be tricky. The idea is that oil won't come gushing out of there on me. When I did the 50-hour service, I don't feel like we lost too much oil on this one, and we don't have to change the other one. I also detached the back rack here because the fill plug for this is right there. Okay, that's where we fill it up. So without further ado, let's get cracking here, and hopefully, oh, we need my thing of oil too. But anyway, hopefully with a little bit of luck, we'll set this down here. Let me get my oil pan. Now, I don't remember last time. Might have done this from the back. Today, I'm going to try to do it from the front. It may be a big mistake. I have my oil filter ready right here. And I don't know if you can see anything I'm doing. I'm gonna move you. I'm gonna move you. Maybe you can see better. So right there is the filter. We're looking to loosen, and I'm gonna try to crack it loose here. Wrong direction. Come on. And just like with the other one, once it's loose, now I've got the other filter in my hand, so if this thing starts gushing, and it could, it broke a seal. It's gonna go. We're just gonna go fast. It's not too bad. Come on. That was a cross thread. There. Easy peasy. Not too much fluid. So that's something, even if everything's good, I'll be able to look back on this, and that's as far as it's gonna go. So we're done with that. Okay, and that's the last major thing for the 200-hour service. Now we're gonna look at the air filter, and we're gonna blow out the radiator, and that's pretty much it. Until next time, well, we're not done yet. I'm gonna show you that, but I'm gonna break it for now. Okay, we are a little short on the transmission fluid here, as we check that. So we're gonna add a little bit. And the easiest way to do that is to raise the seat. There's no clip or anything. Throw a funnel down in there, and we'll add us a little bit of that, we should be good. So here we are at the end of the video. So here all we're going to do is take my air compressor there, which I've already topped off with some air, more than enough to do this, and you clean this screen. Kubota gives us this screen and it is awesome. It catches most of the stuff. As you can see, there's some stuff that got through, and we're going to try to blow all that stuff out. Okay, so with that said, let me try to see if I can find a place to set the camera here. I don't know if I will be able to or not. Let's see. I should have got my camera. Nope, nope. It ain't gonna sit anywhere. So I'm just gonna try to hold you. So I guess like so. I really want to put that down in there. And I've got my this blower. I'm just gonna pass all that. It ain't gotta be perfect. Now, this is gonna be a little harder. Now, some people do this with a hose. It's peeling right off. It's really difficult to do this with a camera. Big chunk of it there. Now, well, I don't lose my thing. I'm just blowing it out here. Okay, I think that's good enough. We got it pretty good. We'll put this back in. You got to be careful with the radiator, okay? There we go. And now we're going to replace the air filter, and that's it. We're serviced. Now, let's see here. Brand new Kubota brand air filter. Let's set it right here. We just undo a clip there, and this comes off. Now, you don't have to do this, I don't think, every time you service it. And I think you can clean these. But it's been a hard year for the tractor this year. So, I don't wanted to go above and beyond here. Come on. I need two hands for this. There's one, too. Air filter is done. All is good in the world. We'll close our hood. The hood is heavy, I should also mention. You don't want to let it slam. There you go. So that's it. That's our 200-hour service. Now the 400-hour service, and like I said, I got the parts here for the 400-hour service. I had it in my mind that it was the 200 where you had to change everything, all fluids, all filters, fuel filter, everything. But it's not. After looking at the book, it's the 400-hour service where that stuff goes on. The 200-hour service is complete. All you do is engine oil. You change the hydrostatic transmission filter, and I changed the air filter, which I don't think is due till 400 hours. Blew off the radiator, topped off my hydraulic fluid, because the hydrostatic transmission, it runs off the same reservoir. It runs on hydraulic fluid. It runs off the same reservoir as the hydraulics. So anytime you change the HST filter, you need to top off the hydraulic fluid, which I showed you. Now I know this was kind of a long video. If I ever get a chance to do a 400-hour service video, it really is just one more filter. And you can YouTube, if I'm not around, you can YouTube how to do the 400-hour service on the B2650.